Yo, what up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, no music, just raw dog, you know what I mean? We're only one call away.
No, sir. That would be copyright infringement, sir. This is an original. This is an original instrumental, sir. Okay, we are not one call away. Don't copyright. Don't copyright strike our shit. Okay, please don't.
I got the proof.
Yeah,
This is called a freestyle type beat.
yeah. That's the name of this. Okay, no calls away. You know. No.
Hey, but anyway, man, what's going on, man? How was your weekend?
It was busy, but I managed to draft three fantasy teams. Spent a lot of time with my family within a 48-hour span, so
Yeah.
got a lot of things done. So nah, man, the weekend was good, man. It definitely was good to go out of town, spending some time with some aunts and uncles and people that I don't get to see very often. And when I say very often, like some of these people, this is only my second or third time seeing them in my entire life. So yeah, man, very enjoyable weekend. Very good to see family and spend time with the aunts and uncles, but also the nieces and nephews. So
Yeah, man. Well, that's
you had fun this weekend too, didn't you, Mark?
huh?
You had fun this
Yeah,
weekend too, didn't you, Mark?
yeah, man. Uh, yeah, man. I had fun this weekend, man. I was out there in the world. Those that follow me, what I mean. You probably saw pictures of me, see me out there. I was looking like a baddie. You know what I mean? I was.
Yeah. My family was hard body judging you, bro. They had a lot of comments, man. They was like, that man, Sharice is the one that was sharing with everybody. She like, yeah, he's saying he in this bad bitch era. Like, she might have been throwing a little extra on top of whatever you said, Mark. But
Right.
yeah. But then it's like, nah, look at him, man. He think he cute.
I don't think though. Like,
I'm just, I'm
all
just
right.
telling you, they was like, what's up with Mark? He acting funny.
Objectively,
Yeah.
objectively, I am a handsome man. Let's just be perfectly honest about
It's funny.
about the statement. Right.
They said that, but they were saying you was acting pretty. You know what I'm saying? It's a totally different conversation, Mark. Mark was switching his head. See, look, I'm just telling you what the people were saying. I didn't say those things about you, Mark. I'm
Uh,
just telling you what my people were saying.
yeah, you know what I mean? I guess little jokey joke out there, you know what I'm saying? I was a baddie on my way to Usher with my baby. You know what I mean? I was with my baby going to go see Usher. And Usher did his thing, man. For real, not gonna lie, bro. It was a good show.
I'm sure it's as good as a show as you expected it to be.
Yeah, it was more like I can honestly say it was almost like his residency,
Oh,
but like on tour, like you know what I mean?
but that sounds dope to me. Yeah.
Yeah, like the skating stuff was out there. He came into the crowd, and then like there's a secondary stage where like he walked behind and was making people drinks and shit.
Yeah.
It was dope. It was a dope show. Like he only did like 3 songs from the new album, maybe 2, and I'm glad because I'm not really a fan of the new album. And like the songs he did do was the songs that we liked. So
Yeah. That's dope.
um, and like one song, I forget the name of it, but it's from the new album. I don't really like it, but when you watch it perform,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah, but yeah, what is it like? It's like back in the day when you was like, the song's all right, and then the music video dropped, and you're like, okay,
it was like that. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
get it now. This joint is
Yeah,
top
yeah.
5. Like, so something like
You
that.
just
But
needed,
yeah,
you
man.
needed the additional visuals,
Yeah. But yeah, man, hit that like button, y'all. Shout out to Troy letting everybody know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that things
Yeah.
that you do out there. We appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, we got a good show for you right now. We're going to get right into it. Like we said, we had drafts this weekend, so we're going to talk a little bit about our drafts. Keep that very brief, but what we're really going to get into today is early predictions for the upcoming NFL season. The season is just 2 days away, 48 hours and 21 minutes from right now. Yeah. Essentially, that's essentially
close,
when kickoff is going to happen, right?
Yeah, that's close, man. 48 hours from Mark getting his head bust in fantasy football. That's crazy.
I like it. I like the energy.
You like that? You like that?
I like the energy because your team is awful at sleeper. So I like this energy.
Hey, don't worry about my sleeper team. We're not here to talk about that team. We're not here to talk about the sleeper team. You know what I'm saying? Look, Commanders going to the playoffs is a wild statement.
All right. All right. Ralph Lauren says
you using words that I don't understand, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Yo, that's crazy.
Listen, man. Like we said, we did have some drafts over the weekend, and I'm just gonna show you guys my team from that draft. If the dang thing will let me bring it up. All right. But yeah, man, I was 10th pick in my Yahoo league. Sean is with me in that league. You were 6th, I believe.
6th, yeah. So that's a 10-teamer. So he was last, and I was 6th. I was dead middle.
Yeah, I was dead last in that one, and yeah, where is it? We got all these tabs now. I gotta get to the right tab.
But I was gonna say, would you say were you in I already told you I don't really like being one of the middle picks. Is that a spot that you prefer to pick at?
Ooh, the middle? It depends on the year. It depends on the year, man. This year I love it. But I love it. Like I had it in one league. I had the 5th pick. In the other league, I had 3rd. In the Yahoo league, I had 10.
I was at 4 and 6 in my 10-teamers, and then at 9 in the 12 team. I actually had a good positioning in all my leagues, I believe. So.
All right, whatchamacallit has a question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
Because Taylor Sports asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did they do with the auto draft? I'm gonna let you answer for yourself. How do you think you did with your auto draft?
Yeah, I'll be honest. So that he's talking about the sleeper league, the 12-teamer. It was kind of an auto draft. You know what I'm saying? I made a few picks. I probably picked like 5 players out of the 15. I was having technical difficulties. The app was crashing on me, or it was disconnecting from the draft while I had the draft up. There's a lot of stuff going on. But to be honest with you, it could have been a lot worse. I've had some terrible auto drafts. And if I had to rate this as far as auto drafts go, I'd give it a B. It could have been a lot worse. But a B in an auto draft is still a C or a D plus in a regular draft. So if I would have drafted personally. So I'm not particularly happy with my team. But the one thing I did notice when I looked at my squad, they took a running back when I would have taken a running back. They took Jahmyr Gibbs when I wanted Kyron Williams, but I'm not too upset about that. But I'm not going to go into all the players, but let's just say a lot of these guys had potential for high target share. So even though their floors are something that I don't like, the target shares are there for the auto draft. So can't be too mad at it. I got a chance, boy. I still got a chance, and that's all that matters.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, her auto pick wasn't too bad, but we'll see. But real
Yeah.
quick, I'm going to bring this up now. Let you guys see uh, what type of picks we got
What up, fellas?
in the Yahoo League. All right, like I said, I was the 10th pick, and as you can see, there goes my squad right there. I'm gonna run it down very quickly. You can see it on the screen. But I have Patrick Mahomes, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce. So I got the tandem with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Chris Godwin in the flex. Now moving on to my bench, I have DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakur, J.K. Dobbins, and Aaron Rodgers as a backup currently. And my kicker is Tyler Bass. Defense is Buffalo. You all got that. You see that was from the 10th pick. I don't think that's that bad from the 10th pick. Now I'm gonna share Sean's team. Sean's team is as follows. He has Jordan Love, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Nico Collins, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Mark Andrews, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, Devin Singletary, Corum, Brock Purdy as a backup, and Sutton. And he also has Josh Palmer and Evan McPherson as his kicker. His defense is Chicago's defense. All right. Was there anybody I missed on that? Nope. All right, cool. So you guys got it there. So tell us, man, who you think had a better draft out of those two? Out of those two that you just heard, who do you think you had a better draft? We also put that up on the page as well. So you could go ahead and leave a comment on the page to talk about what you guys think of our teams and who you think had the better draft here. Sean, I'm gonna ask you though. Out of the two of us, who do you think had the better draft?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and this might just be my bias. I really like my team, man. So I'm gonna say my team is better than yours, but I don't think my team is much better than yours, Mark. Like I think when I look at that league, I see my team, I see your team, like 1A, 1B, and then I just see everybody else. Like I think we about to wreak havoc in here. Now, what I will say is I don't wish you well though, because if you have a good team and you're the only team that I feel like is challenging me, then I don't wish you well at all. I'm not going to sit here and hold you, Mark. Like that's just what it is. If you guys don't understand, we have a history. You know, we have a history, man. Whenever I have the best team in the league, Mark somehow, his team, he always has a really good team that year. And somehow through waiver wire or whatever it means, his team will catch fire. And then even though my team is better, I'll beat him in the regular season. In every season that we've had like that, in every single league that we've had, he's beaten me, either knocked me off in the semifinals or in the championship. So yeah, so I'm not wishing him well because this has the inner workings and the feelings of one of those types of seasons, and I don't like it, Mark. I mean, I don't know. You want to speak on that?
Oh yeah, I'll speak on that. But before I do want to say to Matt, my day of violence was great. It was fantastic. I felt good this morning. I felt like sharing how I feel this morning with you guys, and I had a question, and neither one of you answered it. So that's interesting.
I did. I said it. My response. Maybe I didn't answer the question, but I responded. My response was, "It sounds like a question for a Cowboys fan and not a Niners fan." I just don't understand why that question is being asked to me. So,
but no, my day was good, and also, Sean, I like this version of you. I like this version of you, the version that's not with the with the fake humble guy walking
The fake
around.
humble
Oh man, I wish you well. You know what I'm saying? May the best man win. You know, I like the version that's keeping it real and keeping it funky and letting it hang out, letting it be known what it is. All right. You know what I mean?
I hate you. I hate you. I hope all the bad things in the world happen to you.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I like, because you know what I mean? Because people be walking around like, dang, Mark, why you be doing them like that? And, like acting like it's just me. Like it ain't just me. Like, no, this is the guy that he showed you.
Hold up. I gotta address Bellows because he still don't understand. Watch this. So Bellows, see, you want me to answer this question, man. You sent me a text, you know what I'm saying? You sent me. Now there's 2 messages. How's Trey Lance doing? Okay. Then you asking me, you know, okay, we don't remember how much you talked about Trey Lance on the night. No. Let's be very specific. I said, give me any other quarterback right now. I don't care if you've seen nothing from them. As long as they have potential and they're young, put them on our roster outside of Jimmy G. And what we had on our roster at the time was Trey Lance. Now, I want you to, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. You sent me a text message after he had his after he had his preseason game where he threw the 5 picks. That's cool. When was the last time you seen Jimmy G throw for 400 yards? You know what? It's cool. Don't even waste your time Googling that, Bellows. Once again, I will sit here and tell you that we need to move on from Jimmy G. Where's Jimmy G now? What's he doing? Is he a starter in this league? All I'm saying, Trey Lance got Jimmy G numbers. And if he has Jimmy G numbers at a time where he's only played 5, not even 5 NFL starts, then that means he has more potential than Jimmy G. You're proving my point right now, Bellows. But you know what? I'm off that. I don't need to talk about that any further. All you need to know is that Jimmy G is somewhere banished to the bottom of the Cardinals roster. I think he's over with the Cardinals. Is he with the Cardinals?
All right. That's enough. That's enough of this Trey Lance nonsense.
Look, man. You need to tell him that Jimmy G is just as bad as Trey Lance. I feel like that's self-explanatory.
Like, I don't know what else to say.
Hey, 2-time Super Bowl champ is nasty word, but go ahead.
But anyway, yeah. So,
let's continue what we were talking about.
Yeah, you asked me a question before I addressed them. You said, what do I think of my team?
Yeah. I want you to, not only what do you think of your team, but I wanted you to speak on, because I said I feel like this is another season where I'm going to have the best team and you're going to beat me somehow in the playoffs. Speak on that as well.
I mean, that's the goal. That's always the goal.
Do you feel it, though? Usually, see, Mark, don't do that with me. Usually you have a feeling. Usually you're like, man,
the feeling hasn't struck me yet. It hasn't struck me yet. My feeling it hasn't struck me yet. I'll let you know. But
have some respect for Jimmy G as well. Y'all need to chill.
But listen, man, I'm gonna just say like this, man. I can see where people would say that your team is better, because this is a PPR league and your team is stronger at wide receiver than mine. Mine has upside. Like, my receivers are largely unproven upside.
Yeah.
Your receivers, especially Amon-Ra and Nico Collins, are coming back to the same situation. And T. Higgins, Joe Burrow will be there. And right now, we're going to have to assume that T. Higgins is the number 1 receiver until until Jamar Chase comes back. So, like, receiver-wise, you're stronger than I am, for sure, certainly. But where you are strong in receiver, I dominate in running back. I have a pass catching back in Jonathan Taylor, who, let me remind you guys, the head coach is Shane Steichen.
Yeah, he's going to get work.
He's going to get the work, a lot of it. And then I got Saquon Barkley, who his offensive coordinator is Kellen Moore. Y'all remember how Zeke ate under Kellen Moore? Because I do.
That's what it should look like, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember how Zeke was eating under Kellen Moore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if Saquon doesn't get touchdowns, which I believe he will, but let's say if there's a game that happens where he doesn't get a touchdown, what are you talking about, Mark? We're talking about the possibilities of him in a tough game. 25 carries for 120 yards, 6 catches for 50 yards. Like, you're talking, without a touchdown, he will give you RB1 numbers. So,
and this is where I'm stronger as well. I'm stronger at quarterback. And even though it's Mark Andrews on the other side, I'm definitively stronger at tight end because Travis Kelce does not get hurt. Mark Andrews does.
You did a lot of knocking, boy. Didn't you?
You absolutely right. I'm
glad you caught yourself.
If I have to.
You caught yourself, man.
I will knock this table through the floor if I have to. Like,
I'm glad you caught yourself, boy. Hey, look. Yeah. And I know. I'll let you finish, and then I'll give you my thoughts on your.
But yeah, Travis Kelce doesn't get hurt, and he is, like, for all intents and purposes, he's the number one guy to the best quarterback in the NFL. Whereas Mark Andrews is the number one guy, but that is a running team over there. And like I said, Mark Andrews misses games, so
he does.
Like, I mean, it's getting to the point where you can guarantee he's going to miss a game. I mean, he already is dealing with a little bit of back, and I hope that this doesn't linger on, but he's questionable, not for anything that happened on the field, but because he got into a car accident. He's just one of those guys that just have random shit happen, and you, the fantasy person, have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, so... Like, that's one of those situations. And then, like, my backup running backs are for real too. Now, but I get it. Like, we are in the PPR, and his wide receivers are better. But I think that's the only area where he is better than me is at wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'll say. When I look at your roster versus mine, right? We're just constructed differently, but I feel like we have the same amount of firepower. If Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce go off for a game, the floor on Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, it's so high. You know what I'm saying? If Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce go off, you're gonna win that game. It just is what it is in my mind, right? And then the thing where I think your team is better than me is 5 weeks. I got a handcuff I have handcuffs and shit for my backup. You know, Blake Corum does nothing for me in a bye week. DeAndre Swift and Zach Moss do a lot of things for you in your bye week, Mark. And I feel like you have a lot more bye week protection than I do when it comes to me, honestly, both the quarterback and the running back position. So surviving bye weeks is going to be, like, for me to survive bye week, I just hope that one of my many big time receivers blows up for that particular game in the bye week to try to be able to offset what I'm going to be missing at the running back position. So that's just, so I do understand that, you know what I mean? So I do feel like you have a better situation when it comes to bye weeks. So when people say they're looking at your bench and they like my bench better, my bench when it comes to running back and quarterback is not going to be the same when it comes to bye weeks. So I really have to, and I didn't plan my team out around my bye weeks like the way that you did. So I think I'm going to have more bye week trouble than you. But honestly, I think both of our teams have a very high ceiling for explosion. But yeah, I do like my starting lineup better. But like I said, we draft differently. I like my team. You like your team. No disrespect. That's why I said 1A, 1B. But all disrespect, I hope your team sucks, Mark.
Well, listen. Hey, man, listen. This is what But hey, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use our Yahoo team And I thought of this earlier, and I meant to say something to you earlier, but I forgot.
Yeah.
I remember now. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep you guys updated throughout the season on how each team is doing, regardless of whether we play each other or not. We're just going to keep you updated on these teams and how we move throughout the season. So you'll be able to see that on Facebook or on Instagram or through YouTube. Because we'll probably create reels of the scores, and so you can see any moves that we made and all that. Anyway, so next Tuesday, you guys will see who scored more points, who starters scored more points.
Yeah.
And so that'll set us off right away. And real quick, Sean, who do you think out of the two of us is going to have the better start?
The better start.
Yeah, week one.
If I'm not mistaken, because I did look at my situation, I feel like I don't like some of my defensive matchups, but I still believe that the players that I have are going to come out the gate firing, because you're right. They're coming back to a familiar situation, and I feel like your Saquon situation, something like that does make a difference. Now, granted, he could very well just get fed to the high heavens because it's a new situation, right? To establish something. But no, I just feel really confident in even if my guys have bad games, that we will still outperform with whatever your players are doing. So I just feel like your team's set up for long term a little bit. My guys are going to come firing right out the gate.
Hey, we got a question about how do people get in the league with us? Shoot. Man. A little late in the game. I mean, theoretically, I could set one up and have it ready by tomorrow, but
we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Look, man, I'm a recovering
I got vetoed, right?
fantasy football addict, bro. Like, you can't do this to me, right? Mark, I've been doing good, man. I only got 3 leagues right now, man. You can't do it. Look, all jokes aside, absolutely willing to do an official eye test fantasy football league. Now, with that said, Mark,
for sure.
Yeah, so next year, like, absolutely down for it. Yeah. So my question for you, Mark, is if we do that, I already kind of know how we would want to do the scoring. We agree on the scoring and all that stuff. How many teams, though, Mark?
12. We got to do one.
Would you be willing to do 14?
I've never done 14.
I've done 14. It's absolutely disgusting. You don't want to do 14.
Yeah. Like,
I don't. There's nothing on the waiver wire.
There is a magic number, and 12 is it. Like, so 10 and 12 is it. 8 is nasty work.
Yeah. Like I said, 8 is, come on, dog. You playing Madden on arcade.
Yeah.
But I will say, is this: I've done a 14, and no waiver wire. It takes some of the fun out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I didn't like about doing a 14 team. 14 team only works if you do individual defensive players.
Well, Gary, in our sleeper league, instead of like a limited number of bench spots, we have a position maximum. We have position maximums in the sleeper league.
Yeah.
So you can have the same number of bench spots that you would normally have, but you're only allowed 5 running backs total. You're only allowed 5 wide receivers total. So so that limits how many. Like, that limits people from scooping up all the running backs, scooping up all the wide receivers and stuff like that. So
you said 5. It might not even be 5 for running back. I think it might be 4.
It might be.
So yeah, like, you really can't. Yeah, you can't hoard at all in this league. And we did it for the first time this past year. And I'll be honest with you, waiver wire was jumping all the way to the end of the season. So yeah, I did enjoy that. So that is definitely something I would consider if you guys are out there doing leagues and you have a problem with that. 4 bench spots is disgusting, just because in a pinch when it comes to injury, having to drop guys like, I mean, what we had weeks, Mark, the COVID year, and it had nothing to do with COVID. It just had to do with everybody being out of shape because they didn't have camp. And there was people going into weeks with 3 questionables or 3 to 4 injuries, and you're just like, okay, well, it's just for this week. Do I need to drop everybody? Like, nah, 4 bench spots is disgusting. I think anything less than 6 is a travesty. You know what I'm saying? In the Yahoo League we have 6. In most of my other leagues we have 7. So even just having 1 less spot, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 is absolute nonsense, man. I'm sure it would be fun though. Like, you better get your waiver game up. You know what I'm saying? In a league like that. But no, yeah, absolutely, Mark. Next year, we gonna say it officially right here.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
you guys have it.
and even if y'all did talk me into doing another league this year, my old lady would kill me.
Yeah, no. The only way I would do another league is if it's just a best ball league.
Yeah.
That's it. You draft your guys, you get it. All I gotta do is pop in and check on it. I don't need to make any roster adjustments or lineup adjustments. That's the only way I'll do another.
But yeah, for sure. But real quick, man, let's go ahead and get into this, man. We'll get back to the individual predictions, but we spent enough time talking about our fantasy team that we want to get into the meat potatoes right now. So NFL season predictions. So let's start it off. Let's kick it off with something simple. And you guys can answer as well if you would like. But we're going to kick it off with something simple like, Sean, give me your top 5 in the AFC. Top 5 finishers in the AFC.
Top 5 finishers in the AFC. Woo! Hey, we freestyling out here, man. But I don't need to think too much about it. I'm not gonna number them in order. I'm just gonna give you a top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Just give me. You don't have to number the rest in order, but give me who you think goes to the AFC Championship.
I'll give you that.
No, give me who you think is going to the Super Bowl as your first one.
Okay. This is gonna sound crazy.
The rest of them I don't care. But whoever you think is going to the Super Bowl, give me that.
I'm gonna save the Super Bowl pick for the last one. So let's start out by saying, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Ravens are going to be in the top 5.
Okay.
All right. This is terrible. The Dolphins going to be in the top 5. All right. The Bills are definitely not going to be there. I think that's who replaces the Bills is the Dolphins.
Okay.
Trying to figure out who that other team is crazy. You know what? Let me just start getting to other teams. The Pats. Not the Pats, excuse me. The Chiefs. See, John throwing me off with that stupid comment, man. The Chiefs, not the Pats. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. My bad. See, he throwing me off, Mark. That's wild.
Were you thinking about Patrick Mahomes?
I was thinking about Patrick Mahomes, absolutely. And then he had Pats up there, and it just threw me off, man. Yeah. And here's where it gets tricky, because there's only 2 more teams left, Mark. I know who I got going to the Super Bowl. But I'm trying to find this other playoff team that I think is going to be in the. I think that the AFC is putrid right now. But let's go with the Jets. The Jets be a top 5, and then for my Super Bowl team, Mark, I'm going with the Houston Texans. I know you like that. So there we go. I feel like those are good choices for a top 5. But I just think the AFC is just outside of the top teams. They're not a good conference right now. So
okay, all right. Oh.
Yeah, what you got for the top 5 AFC, man?
Top 5 AFC. All right. I agree with you on the Ravens. I agree. Um, let's see, who else do I have? I also have. I would also tend to agree on on the Jets. I think the Jets, because of Aaron Rodgers healthy, I think the Jets are a tough out with Aaron Rodgers healthy.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to go ahead and say in the top five. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Texans for sure, Texans as well. I disagree with you that the Texans are going to the Super Bowl. I think that they have a strong shot of going to the AFC Championship. Absolutely have a
I
strong
think they
shot.
will be. I'm not even going to hold you. I think they will be in the AFC Championship.
Hey man, here's my hot take for you guys right here, right now, man. Actually, do I want to give that to you guys?
Nah, go ahead, give it up. Boy, you can't be like, here it is. Never mind. No, you can't do that. You're saying too much now. Come on.
Cleveland.
Hmm.
I think Deshaun Watson finally resurges back to form, and Cleveland finishes as a top 5 finisher in the AFC.
That is, sir, a hot take.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not with you on that.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I like some of these answers. I like these answers. That Super Bowl is absolutely insane. I know you like Aaron Rodgers, Gary. I know you like Aaron Rodgers. Pipe down, son. Pipe down. Aaron Rodgers don't even know if he want to play right now.
All right, who I've given you so far? Ravens, Texans, Cleveland.
For you?
Yeah.
You said Ravens, Texans, Cleveland. You did.
Okay. Ravens, Texans, Cleveland. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dolphins as well, but
Yeah.
I can also see the Dolphins finishing 6th and finishing just outside of 5.
They could. I just can't tell you who that 5 team is going to be if it ain't the Dolphins, Mark.
Right, but I could see them finishing outside of 5.
Yeah.
And all right, so like I said, Ravens, Texans, Dolphins, and then I got Cleveland. Cleveland is 4, and then I have of course the Chiefs.
And you got them winning the Super Bowl?
I don't have them winning the Super Bowl just yet.
Going.
I do have them going. The NFL wants to keep. Look, man, y'all know my motto at the end of each episode: follow the money, follow the narrative, and the narrative this year is 3P. They're going to try to keep that 3P idea alive for as long as humanly possible.
Pay attention to how Rashee Rice still ain't got no suspension, man.
Exactly.
Just pay attention, folks. Pay attention, man. So real quick, Bob, Pat's gonna shock the world. They're gonna be worse than everybody thought they would. Yes. Now, if that's what you're saying, then I agree with you. Other than that, I don't know how you think the Pats are gonna shock the world.
No,
they're gonna have a top 5 defense, but still finish under 500 and not make the playoffs? Yeah, I think that'll happen. I don't know if that'll be shocking though.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. I believe that the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl because right now the narrative and the thing that's being spoken about is in the Chiefs 3P. They want to keep that news alive for as long as possible. And so, do they win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Things happen all the time. The Patriots were supposed to be the first team to go undefeated since the Miami Dolphins, and then the Giants went and came and burst that bubble. So, but that was what was supposed to happen.
Let's be honest. That was the one time that the NFL wanted it bad, boy.
Right.
They wanted that team. They wanted it bad. They just didn't think they had to intervene. That's where they messed up.
Right.
They thought it was going to naturally happen.
and the Giants came and burst that bubble. So I can't help So I don't know what's going to happen in the game, but I do know that they're going to
That-
try to get the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. So I'm going with the Chiefs as going to the Super Bowl.
We gotta get new fans of the show, man. We got too many Pats fans in here, man. They talking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
This is wild.
I believe they lost. So
yeah, this is. You said the Chiefs haven't lost hardly anyone from last season. Snead, that's it.
yeah,
So,
Snead, but Snead
that's
is
big though.
Snead is a huge loss. You're talking about
big,
you're talking about a guy that can cover one half of the field, like literally, like top to bottom, like that. So that's a huge loss.
And Snead could follow a receiver if he needed to. Like you don't see guys like that no more, man. Like that's a big loss though. Like they didn't lose much. That's a big loss. You know what I'm saying? We can't just brush that under the rug. Like I don't think they're going to be able to lock up teams the way that they were last year with him being gone. At least if you got 3 guys, 4 guys that are offensive weapons on your team and you go against the Chiefs this year, somebody's going to eat. Last year, that wasn't the case.
All right.
So,
All right. Now give me your NFC prediction.
NFC predictions, Come on, Mark. Here we go. Eagles, top 5 team.
Okay.
All right. Going to start off with that. Niners, top 5 team. Those are the 2 easy ones to get out of the way. The third one, Lions, easy one to get out the way. So you got Niners, Eagles, Lions. Man, it's not so good over here on the NFC side neither. Who do I respect in the NFC? You know what? I'll throw that out there. I'm going to go ahead and say Packers and Falcons. There we go. Those are my top 5 in the NFC.
But who you got going to the Super Bowl?
Come on, Mark. Why are we doing this? Why we even got to go through this formality? The Niners are going to the Super Bowl. Niners are going to the Super Bowl. I don't even know why you asked me, Mark. That's crazy.
Well,
I don't even know why you asked me.
All right. Well, okay.
Fair enough, right?
Huh?
Fair enough, Mark. Right?
Sure. But here we go. You got
the
49ers going to the Super Bowl. Okay. Cool. Anyway, moving on. I will say that the 49ers is going to have a top 5 finish. I think the Lions might regress a bit, and I'm going to say Green Bay is going to have a top 5 finish. I don't even think the Lions are going to regress much. I just think they're going to be like the 6th man instead of where they were.
Well, let's be honest. They were what? Until the end of the season, they were the number 1 team in the NFC when we went on our losing streak. So I get what you mean. Like, they were a top 2 team last year in the NFC. Right. You're going to regress. Yeah.
I got and then I do have the Falcons stepping up. And I also have the Rams.
I like that pick.
I have the Rams.
I think the Rams are going to be sneaky good this year. When people don't understand, Kyron Williams broke out but got hurt. Puka Nacua turned all the way up. Cooper Kupp was the one that was hurt last year.
Right.
If all these dudes are healthy and you still have Matt Stafford throwing the ball, that's going to be a team that I think nobody wants to play, Mark, at any point in the season.
Yeah, I just think the NFC North is going to be a little bit tougher this year, all the way around. I think Minnesota is going to be the team that's on the outside looking in, but I do think...
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think...
it's not a cakewalk. These games that the Lions are going to play against the Bears is not going to be cakewalk games.
Right.
The games they play against the Packers, same thing.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a little bit of a tougher road. And of course, you know, I mean, I got to go with the home squad, the Eagles. Going to have a top 5 finish.
Super Bowl team.
Super Bowl team. Listen, man, I don't want to say. Let me just put it like this. I don't have a prediction.
From here, boy. Go ahead.
I don't have a prediction for the Super Bowl for the NFC North. I mean, for the NFC yet. And the reason why is because I would love to say the Eagles, but I got to be honest with you guys. I do not believe in their defensive scheme. I have to see it. I have to see this 3-4 work. I have to go ahead and see the Vic Fangio defense work before I can ever tell you guys how this will work out. But you guys know I hate Vic Fangio style of defense. I hate the bend but don't break defense. I hate the 3-4. Like, so
that right there. I just never been a 3-4 guy. And the only time I ever seen it work was in Denver when they had all the dogs over there and they won that Super Bowl. That's the only time in my memory that I can think of where I respected a 3-4 defense.
Yeah. Now listen. now listen. I can tell you this right now. The 49ers are not going to the Super Bowl.
You can tell me or you can try to guess.
No, I could tell you. I mean, because if you want to go off of history, the way you guys have been working is NFC Championship lose, then Super Bowl lose, then the next year NFC Championship lose, then again go back to the Super Bowl and lose. So by that cycle, this year is NFC Championship and lose.
Just to be fair, each time that we went back to the NFC Championship and lost, we had an injured quarterback. Jimmy G had a messed up shoulder. Brock Purdy had. Look, you think there's another injury coming, Mark?
I don't care about the reasoning. I'm
telling you, unless there's an injury, there ain't no reason that we're going to lose that game.
I care about the cycle. The cycle is, no matter how you slice it, you lose. But the cycle is NFC Championship lose, Super Bowl lose, NFC Championship lose, Super Bowl lose. So by the cycle, you are going to the NFC Championship and losing.
You know, as somebody who wholeheartedly believes in superstition, specifically when it comes to football in general, fantasy football, watching the game, it sound logic, Mark. I can't lie. It sound logic. I just don't believe in it this year. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in the cycle, Mark. That's what I'm gonna tell you. So
yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's right.
Man, Mark, hey, real quick. First off, Chris, I see what you're doing. Okay? don't try to play this up, boy. I see what you're doing. You're trying to get the Eagles in the Madden League. I can see you, okay? I don't know why you're doing this live on air, Chris. Hey, you not getting the Eagles, my boy. Relax, okay? You don't need to do all this in public, man. Talking about, the Eagles, their quarterback went down, isn't it? Nah, man, you ain't got to do all this. You're not getting the Eagles in Madden. Stop it. Sorry, I had to shut that down, Mark. I don't know what I'm just going to assume that's what this is, Mark. You know? But I will say this, Mark. I find it interesting. I don't see a lot of people saying the Bills.
Yeah.
So maybe people are seeing what we're seeing. And shame on whoever said Cowboys.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I understand why people. The reason why I don't include the Bills, just to let you guys know, if you guys feel differently, let me know. But the reason why is because Josh Allen is Brett Favre without the clutch gene. He's going to go out there and gunsling. He's going to throw picks. He's gonna throw picks. He's gonna throw touchdowns. He's gonna do both. But when you need him to win, he doesn't have the clutch gene that Brett Favre does or did to get the win anyway. Like, regardless of how many interceptions he threw, all that, he doesn't have that gene to go get the win anyway. And so you put that on top of the fact that he has an entirely new receiving core outside of Khalil Shakur and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, but they don't run a lot of 2 tight end sets anyway, so that don't even fucking matter. But
well, let's just put it this way, because I want to stop this talk right now with the whole we don't even know if Khalil Shakur or Keon Coleman is going to be better. We're arguing about number 3 guys as to which one is going to be the number 1 receiver. They don't have a number 1 receiver. Let's just call it what it is. Somebody will be the de facto number 1, but you don't have a wide receiver 1. Is what the issue is here with Josh Allen. This will be like the Bengals when Tyler Boyd was their number 1 receiver. Yes. These guys are great if they're number 2. Beside Stephon Diggs, it was nice. These are not guys that can be a wide receiver 1 on a playoff team. Real quick, because I did want to get into some of these questions. Here's a good one that I like here. Any predictions on Super Bowl halftime show? Do you got any predictions for that one, Mark?
Super Bowl halftime show. What as to who's going to do
Performers. Well, if you don't have a prediction, then just give me who you would want to see.
I knew. Oh, Missy. I want to no, and I don't want to see Missy as like as coming out with someone else. I want to see Missy Elliott as a headliner. I want to see Missy Elliott headline the show and do the show. Missy Elliott's catalog is one of the biggest catalogs in the world. And secondly, when you're talking about songs that hype you up and make you want to watch, and when you talk about performance, I want to watch Missy perform. I want to watch like she may not have current music, but Missy all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I hear you on that. Like they've been doing a little bit of current and past, artists as far as big artists, and I do like the mix. I like the mixture that I've seen over these years. But I also know this, right? One of the things that we have seen, it hasn't been 100%, it hasn't been every year, but sorry, excuse me. But yeah, they've been trying to get artists from that locale. When they were in Miami, they had Pitbull come out. When they were in LA, they did the entire LA rapper thing. This location is going to be in New Orleans this year. I'm going to be honest with you.
Think it's going to be the Hot Boys?
I'm going to be honest with you. Hot Boys? No. Lil Wayne? Yes. Lil Wayne's the only one getting invited here, Mark. Let's be honest.
Well,
you think Master P is getting invited? Absolutely not. I'm just going to be honest with you. Lil Wayne will represent for Louisiana, for New Orleans. Mark, do you think they're inviting Kevin Gates to this?
I just want to point out how arrogant and presumptuous of us to assume that it's going to be an R&B or hip hop act.
It can be well if they're going local artists down there, they're not bringing out a blues musician. But that's the only, if they might not even go with local artists. So I'm with you on that. But I'm just saying, if they go local artists, there's only one person on the list, bro. They're not bringing out Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates cannot perform anything at the Super Bowl. It just is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of stuck here, man. And ain't nobody calling up Master P. Ain't nobody calling up Sophie Shocker. Look, man. And I hate that they're not calling NBA young boy. Like, there's just they can't do this, right? So I say there's absolutely Lil Wayne there. Now, outside of Lil Wayne, Mark, I can't give you any other predictions, but I do predict that there will be R&B artists. Maybe, Mark, they go pop, because I'm gonna be honest
No,
with you.
right
I
here,
believe that Taylor Swift is going
Rob,
to be performing
no,
at this
Rob.
season.
I think Rob is correct. I think this is the first
said.
time Rob will probably ever hear me say this, because Rob be having some insane
Oh, I
theories.
didn't even realize he said it, but yeah,
But
that was
Rob,
yeah.
but Rob is. I think Rob is correct that it will be Taylor Swift, and it will, and that will make all the sense in the world. Taylor Swift is going to come out in a Chiefs jersey, or while the Chiefs play whoever. She's going to be in her Travis Kelce stuff. Oh, come on, yeah.
Look,
So,
I'm
I
gonna be
mean,
honest with you. If I'm on
Rob
a
might be
opposing
right.
team, I'm vetoing everything. I'm going to the commissioner and be like, ain't no way y'all having Taylor Swift perform with the Chiefs here. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be a hater if I was on the if I'm the team representing the NFC. Nah, man, that's an unfair advantage. That's crazy.
Well,
That's like
Well, listen. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Destiny Child, they're dumbasses. They performed when the Sixers were playing when they were playing LA Lakers in the NBA championship. They performed the halftime show at one of the Sixers home games, right? Now, tell me, they were in half jerseys. They were in half jerseys, to be fair. Like, so
Yeah.
the front side was one team, the other side was the other team. They thought they was cute and all that, but two of them, so like I think it was Kelly and Michelle.
yeah,
They were both in this bright ass yellow Lakers gear on the front side, and Beyonce was in the lone Sixers gear. But you're in Philadelphia. You're not in a neutral location. You're in Philadelphia. You
that's
are
crazy. 2
you
out
are
of 3 is where
Philadelphia
Lakers
wearing
game.
a Lakers jersey performing. They got
Yeah.
booed to the high heavens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They
Yeah.
got booed to the high heavens. Like,
And you
bro,
gotta be able to read the room, Mark. You gotta be able
like,
to.
like that was not intelligent. That was not an intelligent.
Nah,
thing to do.
absolutely not. Yo, so real quick, I know he said it set up for Taylor Swift. Yeah, they'd be foolish not to have Taylor Swift. But like I said, I didn't even realize that comment was up when I said it. But yes, Taylor Swift, Lil Wayne, that's the two that I would predict. I don't know anything else that goes in between. But you know, the way they've been going, Jay-Z's in charge of this. They're gonna have R&B artists.
Nah, I feel you. I feel John on what he's saying as well. Yeah.
If the Packers go, Wayne will be there.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
play with me.
But
Anyway.
anyway, let's get back to this prediction stuff, man.
Hey, real quick, you know what I'm saying? If they come to Louisiana, they can't just be using up the resources in the city, Mark. They can't just show up there with other artists and not put on a local artist, man. Hurricane Chris needs to be on that stage. Sorry, I couldn't let that one go, Mark. I couldn't let that one
It's
go.
going to shut that down.
Hurricane Chris, I like you. I usually like what you talk about.
He got
That's
too much
wild.
dip on his chip with that one.
Way too much dip on this chip, boy.
All right. So listen, but yeah. So the next up, man, best QB.
Best QB?
Mm-hmm. The early prediction for best QB on the year.
Easiest decision of the night, CJ Stroud. He just has, and I'll explain why. I'm not just going to say it. You guys know how much we've talked about CJ Stroud. I still stand on it. Best rookie season that I've ever seen from a rookie QB starting his first year. He has everything it takes to take that next step this season. He already took a bunch of steps last season. Now you give him Stephon Diggs. Now you give him Joe Mixon. The running game was a hindrance last year. It is not going to be a hindrance this year. It's actually going to add to their ability to spread the defense and take more shots downfield. I believe I don't care if it's the same defense as last year. D'Amico Ryan's second year with the team, making sure that defense works the way it's supposed to be. I just think overall the team is going to be a whole lot better than last year. And with all those weapons there and with that type of quarterback, the only way that I can see him not being that quarterback is if somehow the Chiefs end up acquiring some other pieces in the wide receiver room over there, and then Pat Mahomes goes. So yes, I got CJ Stroud being the best QB this season.
Okay. I like it. I understand it. He would be mine if Kellen Moore wasn't in Philly.
I like Kellen Moore, Mark. I've said it from day one.
I don't like Kellen Moore as a coach, as a head coach, but I like
absolutely
Moore
not
as an offensive coordinator.
The man has been money as the offensive coordinator. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really like him as the offensive coordinator.
And I would definitely be CJ Stroud all the way. Now, by the way, guys, just to be clear, all of our picks is barring injury. So if injury happens, then the pick is thrown out. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing: Jalen Hurts has the best receiving core he's ever had, and quite possibly the best receiving core in the NFL. And so there's a possibility it's the best receiving core in the NFL, but I can definitely easily say that receiving core stands up to any receiving core in the NFL. There's not a receiving core that you can pick and not compare that one to.
And I want to be very clear about that, Mark, because I agree with you. Goddard, even though he doesn't get the volume that these other tight ends get, to me, Goddard is arguably one of the 5 best tight ends in the league, right?
Right. And
then you look at Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson is not a number 3 receiver on a lot of teams, but he is on this team. So I'm just gonna agree with you there. And then you talk about having Saquon coming out of the backfield. When it comes to just catchers of the ball,
right,
it's not a better team.
Like Saquon is absolutely keeping teams honest.
Yeah,
you can't go thin and decide to do whatever you're going to do to stop the pass. You can't blitz because Saquon's back there. Like, there's too many things that can happen because Saquon is going to keep you honest. So Jalen Hurts is my pick for best QB.
That's a good pick, Mark. I wasn't sure where you were going to go with it, but that's a great pick. I like that, and I'll add one more thing to this. Even in the absence of Jason Kelce, I still think this is one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Well, I'm not worried. I'm gonna let you guys know.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about the absence of Jason Kelce, because, I mean, obviously there's always you haven't seen it, but here's the thing. Cam Jurgens has been Jason Kelce's understudy for
a long time.
For like 3 years now.
Yeah.
And purposely being the understudy for 3 years. And so when it comes to teaching him, making sure he knows what to do and all that stuff, that's where it is. So I don't have any problem with Cam Jurgens stepping in. And when Jason Kelce says, "Nah, man, that dude got it," I believe him. I don't believe that's just team speak and that's my friend speak. I believe that's a real stamp in that regard.
But I also believe that Jason Kelce is just the type of high character person that wouldn't leave his position unless he knew that it was good to go.
Right.
He just strikes me as ethically, he's just a high quality human being. Like, yeah, I made sure this guy is up to speed and up to par, especially if he already knew it was a possibility that he was going to retire before the season even started. I'm sure he prepared him in every way that he needed to. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that. That's a really great point.
All right, moving on. That's running back.
Yeah, that's running back.
It looks like you lost another one.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna be real with you. You know what? I'm not gonna say it out loud, but you know what I think about the McCaffrey situation. He's working on borrowed time. Okay? Maybe he doesn't have a season-ending injury, Mark, but he's working on borrowed time. That's the most that I'll say about that. So it ain't gonna be CMC. All right? So now we're talking Jonathan Taylor. He doesn't have the right quarterback for that situation. Josh Jacobs, his situation ain't right. A lot of these guys' situation ain't right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Saquon Barkley is the best running back this year.
Okay.
The only, I know a lot of people are high on Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall will be a top 3 running back, but I don't think it's going to be him, and I just don't see Josh Jacobs getting the volume and the type of attention that he needs to get for him to be that guy. So,
all right. I like Rob's pick here. He said Derrick Henry's going to have a comeback season, and
that's
I
the
like Josh.
only other answer, Mark.
I know. I don't think it is the only other answer though.
What you got then?
I have Bijan Robinson.
I like Bijan.
I think Bijan Robinson is going to have that sophomore season, kind of like Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
where he just explodes, and he has a real quarterback back there. That, you know what I mean? Like we saw how Dalvin Cook ate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Kirk Cousins, we saw how Dalvin Cook ate with Kirk Cousins. We watched it. So we know that even though you have a competent quarterback back there, Bijan will still be involved in the passing game. He will be a heavy part of that, and I think Bijan, it will be the best running back this season.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of forgot about Bijan, Mark, and I'll be real with you. The reason why I was saying Saquon is because the totality of what he's going to do in the passing game for the Eagles, and all of those same opportunities that he has, Bijan will have plus more, I believe, just because of the quarterback that he's paired with. I don't know, man. He might be. I'm sticking with my pick. You might got me on this one.
Yeah, but yeah,
those are the guys though. Derrick Henry, ground yards, rushing, he's good. He's probably going to be the leader. But because Henry
is off of ground yards, I think if you're just talking ground yards, it might be Derrick.
Yeah, you talk ground yards, Derrick Henry's going to be the guy. I just don't. He doesn't do enough in the passing game. And then also when it comes to touchdowns, I think all of those guys have that touchdown potential. Derrick Henry does, because they also catch out of the backfield. So,
all right,
yeah.
Now this is a tough one because there's a lot of there. This is a tough one because there has been a lot of shakeup in this regard, where receivers have moved around, offensive coordinators have changed, QBs have changed. There's been a lot of shakeup going on. So, best wide receiver for the year.
Mark, man, I'm not even gonna hold you, man. This is the toughest question that has been asked. All of the best receivers, Mark, are in a system where there's a bunch of people to feed. So it makes it very complicated. And then the other really good receivers that I think are on that tier are on putrid teams that won't be able to move the ball. Whew. So, with that said, Mark, all right. I hate to do this, but this is what I think. I'm going to say A.J. Brown. That's
Okay.
my pick. To be honest, I think it's between him and Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, I just see it being a little bit more of we run the ball a lot more than most teams. And we give CMC the ball 35 times a game. I just don't see like as much volume as I think that Saquon gets. I don't think he'll get it. I just feel like there's just more opportunity for AJ Brown than there is Brandon Ayuk. So, and the Nico Collins, I would have said Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs or something like that, but I honestly think that's going to end up like almost like a 50-50. They're matching. I don't trust the Jamar Chase thing with T. Higgins. AJ Brown is my pick.
All right. Well, I like that you have confidence in the Eagles this year, but I disagree with you. Marvin Harrison. Harrison is going to be the.
You jumping out the window, Mark? Okay.
Hey, man, listen. I may be jumping out the window, but my logic is sound. I want you guys to listen to me, right? Kyler Murray, when he had a competent receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, he hyper-targeted DeAndre Hopkins. He made sure that DeAndre Hopkins was fed the ball, gave it to him often. He gave it to him early and often at all times. And unless he was running it, more than likely the ball was going to the DeAndre Hopkins. Now, fast forward to today, Kyler Murray is healthy, and Marvin Harrison is the guy. Can you really name me who the other receivers on that team are? Yes, Trey McBride is on that team, but Trey McBride ate in a year where there wasn't a definitive number one receiver.
Now, Mark, only because we did these fantasy drafts, I can tell you who the other receivers are. You have Wilson and you have Dortch. They are not doing anything to take any touches away from Marvin Harrison. I'll be honest with you, folks. Marvin Harrison.
Oh,
you guys remember what it looked like when Justin Jefferson came in the league?
Yeah. Now
me and Mark both said, man is pro ready. He's going to be in the. I think he was coming into the league as one of the elite route runners as a rookie. I'm telling you right now that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be one of the elite route runners in the league as a rookie. And
but to finish my point, and I'm gonna make this quick. Arizona's defense is putrid. It's bad. It was bad last year. They didn't do anything to change it this year. Can you tell me what they did?
I don't know who plays on that side of the ball. All I know is J.J. Watt retired.
So
I don't know what you want from me.
So Cardinals defense was bad last year, and they didn't have a great season last year. They can't afford to punt this season. So that means they will be in shootouts. They will be in shootouts to try to win the game. Guess what? Marvin Harrison is going to be a lot asked of him. And I believe
a lot of garbage time.
I believe that he's going to be the type of person to step up as well. So,
well, let me put it this way, Mark. So what it sounds like is, because I keep seeing Malik Neighbors comments, so he's going to have the season that everybody thinks Malik Neighbors is going to have.
I don't know why Daniel Jones is still the quarterback there.
I don't understand that either, Mark. Y'all really gotta, I would say you have to learn the hard way, but you didn't learn anything. So maybe you won't learn. But I'm just gonna free Malik Neighbors is the mantra here, because that man is gonna be in prison over there. Okay, there is nothing that Malik Neighbors can do to get himself the ball. He can be open. I just don't think that the Daniel Jones connection is going to be what it is. I watched Evan Ingram perform like a top 3 tight end in the league, and Daniel Jones couldn't find him. Okay? I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen Sterling Sharp look amazing, healthy, and he couldn't find him either, Mark. every time he's had a healthy receiver that gets open, can't find them the way that he's supposed to.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb, Rob, I like your. I know you said CeeDee Lamb. I do like that, but my issue with the CeeDee Lamb thing is I think your offense is going to go the way of running back by committee. I think I like Brandon Cooks coming back, but Brandon Cooks is not enough for CD to not see the bracketing and double teaming that he's about to see this season. So I think teams are willing to gamble on that and say, look, we will shut down CD and let somebody else cook us. I just, them letting CD cook last year, I think they basically said, look, I don't think teams are going to let that happen again. But I do like your pick because I think CD is still going to see the highest volume of targets of any receiver in the NFL.
All right. So listen. Yeah, man. Here, I can, like, what we were just talking about, how people are like, yeah, Malik Neighbors, this, that, and the third. I want to just bring this up because you just talked about it, but like Malik Neighbors went way too high in drafts, man.
Fantasy football draft is crazy,
yeah. Like, you gotta remember, man, who's throwing these balls to these people. Like, people are drafting Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette, and they're like, yeah, this person can do this, that, and the third. Like, talking about Xavier Legette as if, and they're like, yeah, Bryce Young is now he has receivers. Hey, man, that wasn't a problem last year. I watched those games, and I'm telling you, I watched a guy be 5 yards in front of Bryce Young, and he misses him wide right. That's not a receiver's problem.
Sometimes you just know what you're seeing, Mark, and you know that what you're seeing can't be fixed. And like when Trent Richardson, for example, was missing gaping holes in the offensive line, we looked at it and said, that's not fixable. He's not an NFL running back.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't have the field vision. Like,
if that's the type of mistakes he's making, then if that's a problem that exists, then it's not fixable on this level of competition, Mark. It just is what it is. We ain't got 10 years for you to figure out how to find a hole, right? So yes. The other thing too, Mark, is we got to look at who's running these systems as far as coaching. Brian Dable's claim to fame, if you will, is when he was with the Bills. I watched plenty of games where Diggs ended up being a decoy and Cole Beasley was going off.
Right.
Because specifically, that's what was being given. And Brian Dable was going to call that game and say, I'm taking what you're giving me. Now, knowing that about him, and knowing that I'm sure he knows that who Daniel Jones is as a quarterback. Let's just say Daniel Jones is throwing the ball 25 times in a game, Mark. The type of volume that you think Neighbors is going to see can't possibly be there if Singletary is still going to get 5 targets. You know, if Wan'Dale Robinson's still going to get 6 targets. Like, there's just not enough targets out of 25 passes to go around for Daniel, Daniel Jones to find Malik Neighbors. And we're talking about a team that probably is still going to struggle to get first downs and move the ball down the field. I'm just telling you, everything about that scenario tells me that there's not enough targets available for Malik Neighbors to do the numbers that you're talking about.
Right. Now, all right. I said I wasn't going to do this to you earlier, but I am. Best tight end.
Best tight end, Sam Laporta. Easy pick. I think missing Josh Reynolds is absolutely going to turn that into Sam Laporta being the number 1 tight end. Let's be honest. Yeah, he was the number 1 tight end last year, but You had Kirk Cousins fall to injury with T.J. Hawkinson over there, and then you also had Kelsey having a surprise underachieving season for Travis Kelsey standards. I do feel like the competition is going to be a lot more stiff this year for that number one tight end spot. But I look at the entire situation and I just say, I don't see how he doesn't put up the same numbers that he put up last year or better.
All right. Well, currently he is dealing with a bit of an injury. So I'm going to say, I honestly like him. I have the feeling that it's going to be Sam Laporta. Truthfully, I really do.
Yeah.
So I tend to agree, except for the injury does kind of scare me off a bit.
Yeah.
But moving on, because I couldn't put it in a better way than you did. So, best defense.
Best defense. Best defense. I honestly think I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs. Oh, excuse me, never mind. Tripping. Ravens best defense. Ravens best defense. They pretty much have the defense from last year. They're gonna have Derrick Henry pound on the rock. I don't see how. I just see that as a team that's going to control the clock. John Harbaugh is still the coach there. They're going to absolutely control the clock and be better at it. And I think that plays so heavily into a defense being the best defense is how good their offense is at controlling the clock. So yeah, Ravens is my vote.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you and say the Ravens. You bring up a great point in the fact that the Ravens will be able to control the clock with Derrick Henry, so that keeps the other offense off the field. And when you are able to do that, that keeps the scoring down, and then that puts them in a situation where they have to pass, and so that makes them predictable. And this is much like what the Eagles did 2 years ago, where they had this crazy time of possession early in the game, and so that put the other team in this pressure cooker situation where it made them predictable. Because now they felt the need that we had to score down, so they moved away from running the ball and was passing, and now I can easily be able to read what you're doing. So
defense can pin the ears back. Yep.
Yeah. So I want to go ahead and say I agree that the Ravens will be the top defense as well. Is there any I guess early predictions that you thought of that you want to ask or anything like that?
Outside of that,
Looks like you lost another one.
because I know you gave your hot take. You gave your hot take already. Very hot, steaming hot take.
Who was the hot take?
No, you gave your hot take. You remember you said the Deshaun Watson could be back to normal form.
Huh?
You said
okay.
Yeah, you already gave your hot take, Mark, and that's a good one. But we'll just stick to predictions here. We don't gotta have no hot takes. I'm gonna give you a good team prediction, like a team that's gonna be better than people think, and then I'm gonna give you a team that's gonna be worse than people think. Predictions. And this is kind of a cop out, Mark, but the Bucs ain't gonna be as good as people think they will be.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying that because people are thinking that the Bucs are a shoo-in to win the division, and I think what people are going to find is the Bucs are going to be just as putrid as all the other teams in that division, not named the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, I think they turned into pumpkins now, Mark. It was a nice, cute little story last year. I think the Bucs are going to have a losing record. That's just me. But you understand what I'm saying. People think that what they did last year is repeatable. It's not.
I don't think they're going to have a losing record, but I do think that I think they are closer to 10-7 or 9-8. I mean, what is it? 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
10 and 7, 9,
9-8.
10 and 7, 9 and 8.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's, I think that's their range of games is 10 and 7, 9 and 8. I don't think they're going to have a losing season. I do think that 9 and 8 is more than likely for where they end up.
Yeah, so that is definitely that's one of the ones where I just think that it's, like I said, that's kind of a cop out, but that's just, I want to be very clear. Baker Mayfield is not who you think he is. He had a nice little coordinator.
He's exactly who I think he is.
Yes, he is. And I'm just saying, there was a lot of those games that were closer than they should be, and he made some magic, he came out on top. I don't think their luck goes their way that way this year. And then as far as a team that's going to be better than people think they will be, I'm going to go ahead and say the Patriots are going to be better than people think they're going to be, purely based on their defense. They will be getting Christian Gonzalez back. During the few games that they played with Christian Gonzalez in the lineup, they were essentially somewhere in the top 5 to top 8 defense. And I think that matters. That absolutely matters in this league. I think whatever quarterback starts this year, Mark, is going to be better than Mac Jones. And I also think that as much as I don't believe in their receiving core, I do think it's better than it was last year. And I like the addition of Antonio Gibson in the backfield. I think they don't really lose too much going from Zeke to Antonio Gibson, pairing with Ramondre Stevenson. So that's my prediction. Patriots do better than people think they will. I think the Patriots go. Here, you ready for this, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots go 8-9. Still not a playoff team, Rob. John, sorry. Yeah, they're not going to shock the world at all. But yes, they will be better than people think they will.
Listen. Patriots, I don't know, man. I do have the Patriots as possibly being the worst team in the AFC. Like, who else would be the worst team in the AFC?
Chargers.
No, don't believe it. Hey, man, don't believe it. You want to know why?
Why?
Jim Harbaugh would cheat if he had to.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statement. Hey, did you watch the documentary?
Yes, I did.
Bruh. Hey. But, hey, it was like, was that you on the sideline at the other game? And he was like, nah, man, I don't remember being at that game. I'm like, this motherfucker's lying. He's basically chuckling to himself, Mark. Hey, Buddy was wild. Buddy was wild, Mark. I'm going to let you know that.
He was like, I don't even think he looks like me.
Yeah. Yo, hey, I'm not even gonna hold you. Okay, so you just thugging it. Okay, and you see how we went to the national championship game?
What's the name of it?
I can't remember. It was like the Connor Stallions.
Yeah, but it's on. Just to let you guys know, the documentary we're talking about is the Michigan State. Not the Michigan State. The Michigan scandal. From just last year. These documentaries are coming out fast.
They be dropping them joints as soon as they happen, boy.
Like, and it's on Netflix. So just to let you guys know, but it's about the scandal from just last year where Michigan was stealing hand signals and everything like that. And man, if this was not a confirmation for you that they are guilty of everything that they said they were guilty of, I don't know what to tell you, bro. This left no doubt in my mind.
It was like, yeah, they sent me pictures, but like any other game, they took pictures and they sent me pictures. I mean, I don't know what they were taking pictures of. I just know. I'm like, you're telling on yourself, and you know you're telling on yourself. That's what it's like. It's almost like what they say: serial killers. They also want credit for what they do. It like he's coming off like a serial killer, Mark, because he could have avoided these questions a lot better, but he was intentionally halfway answering them so that you know that he did it. This shit was crazy, man.
No. And John says, all I'm saying is Belichick don't look too bad right now.
Hey, you
No,
saying
he
that?
still looks awful. He still looks awful.
Hey, when Connor Stallions ends up on a Belichick coaching roster, I don't want to hear nothing. Okay,
Listen,
I don't want to hear nothing from you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
All I'm gonna say is that Belichick will forever look awful because without Tom Brady, he's accomplished nothing, and his coaching tree is by far the most rotten, putrid, decayed tree in all of football. Nobody that has ever come from his program to go on to be a head coach has done anything of note outside of being under Bill Belichick. So, and I mean, when I say they haven't done anything of note, I mean to the point of like, you have tanked programs. At one point, Bill O'Brien seemed like he was the guy that you could count on, but then when he burnt the building down at Houston, he almost got it down to the studs.
Don't say Nick Saban. What did Nick Saban do in the NFL? Don't say Nick Saban. We're talking about NFL right now, and I'll be honest with you. The last hope is Brian Dable, and as long as he's with the New York Giants organization, that's never going to come to fruition. I'm just going to be very clear with you. That's the last
and listen,
hope.
I really don't put Brian Dable under him because Brian Dable spent way too much time under Sean McDermott.
No, he did. He spent a lot more. He spent more time. Like he was only what, the Patriots 2 years as some type of assistant. But either way, point is this, Mark. Like, my bad. I want to answer something real quick. Yeah, Rob said Bengals aren't going to be as good as people think.
No, they're not.
I second that. Me and Mark have talked about it extensively offline. I'll give you our take right now. Well, at least I'll give you mine.
Which Gruden are you talking about?
I don't remember Gruden being, but I don't need.
I don't need it.
And if you really want to go with that,
and if you're talking about the
dude that stole the Super Bowl,
yeah, if you're talking about the second Gruden,
look, you talk about despicable human beings, Mark. Look, John Gruden, he won a Super Bowl because he took Tony Dungy's team and played his offense with 100% zero changes. Come on, bro. We really want to talk about John Gruden? All right, man. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. But back to the Bengals. Slow start like they always do. Every single year they have a slow start. It doesn't matter if Burrow's healthy or not. They're just a slow starting team. They're missing Boyd. They're missing Mixon. The offense is not going to be as potent as it once was. Right now, Chase is trying to hold out. He's not appeared to the facilities or anything like that. You got T. Higgins. You got no tight end, and you got Zach Moss and a rookie running back. Okay, I like Joe Burrow. I think he's phenomenal. I don't know if you think he's a superhero or not, but he also doesn't have, I wouldn't even say that he has an average offensive line. Everything says that the Bengals are not a playoff team this year. Not a chance.
Well, they do count Brian Dable. They do count Brian Dable.
Okay, but with that said, even if you count him as a head coach right now, like I said, as long as he's with the Giants, Mark, there ain't shit he can do. He's the last hope, but he has to move somewhere else to try to prove something because he ain't doing nothing with that GM and that roster. Yeah.
All right, real quick, I just want to show this to John. and we're gonna get right back to where we was at.
He said, "Oh, you just got to show this to him."
Yeah, here goes the top 11 in his coaching tree. This is Bill Belichick's coaching tree. Joe Judge, 10-23 record. Matt Patricia, 13-29 record. Jim Schwartz, 29-51 record. Romeo Crennel, 32-63 record. Eric Mangini, 33-47. Al Groh, 9-7. I'm not going to talk about his college. Charles Weiss, his college was trash too, but no need to talk about that. Josh McDaniels, probably the worst of them all, 20-33. Brian Dable,
and that's counting his cheating winning streak.
Yeah. Brian Dable, 15-18. Brian Flores, 24-25. Bill O'Brien, the only one with a winning record by 4 games. Bill O'Brien, 52-48.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that Brian Dable is better than Bill O'Brien, and I think that I would put Eric Mangini third, and those are the only 3 that I can say anything nice about, Mark.
He said this article is clearly biased. How was their number?
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's funny, though. What, man? All I'm saying is, Mark, you know what I'm saying? You ain't have to do them like that. We already knew what it was, man. But the fact that they try to sneak in the college records and then the college records are trash, that's crazy.
Yeah. Bill O'Brien, by a whopping 4 games, was the only one with a winning record.
Do you have a coaching tree? If Bill O'Brien's the best thing you got, is that a coaching shrub? What is it? What do you want to call that, Mark? I don't want to call it a tree.
It looks like
don't have strong roots.
It's one of those trees in the Halloween movie, like that's all decrepit and falling
like
apart.
the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
But anyway, back to what we was talking about though. What were we talking? Oh, worst teams are who's going to end up with the worst?
I made my predictions for who was going to be better than people think and who was going to be worse than people think.
Okay.
So I didn't think but I don't think we got that from you. So
okay, better than what people think. Well, I think Cleveland's going to be better than what people think, obviously. And worse than what people think.
It looks like you lost another one.
I'm just looking to see. I think Jacksonville. I think people just like Jacksonville and they like Trevor Lawrence. And I don't understand why, because Trevor Lawrence hasn't done anything of note in the NFL at all. Like he is a interception machine. Is like I don't get it. I really don't understand why people are enamored with him. So that's one. But if you think that's a little bit too easy of a pick, I can give you another. And
I want to hear another anyway, but I don't think that's too easy of a pick. A lot of people love Trevor Lawrence. You're right.
I would have to agree on the Bengals, man. T. Higgins doesn't want to be there, and Jamar Chase isn't showing up. Like, look, man, I take people at their word, and I don't like. And when you don't do the things that is necessary to, and this is just how I feel, man. Like Brandon Ayuk, this is for you, Matt Petty. He can say whatever he wants. Now that it's all been resolved, he can make it seem like it's all hunky-dory now that they've come to an agreement. He can say all he wants. But during the time, if he had got traded to the Steelers, that he would be talking a different tune about how he wanted to be a Steeler and how he's ready to be a Steeler and all that other stuff. So all that little talk, like he's talking that now because he's where he is and he got his money. But but I say that to say that if you don't make these players feel the warm and fuzzies, I hard body believe that it's going to be a long road. And T. Higgins doesn't feel the warm and fuzzies in Cincinnati.
Look, there's a reason why they say wide receiver is the diva position, man. It's not for no reason, Mark. If anybody's threats will be real, it's probably going to be the wide receiver, Mark. I'm going to be honest with you. So, in outside of wide receiver, it might be the running back just because the running back is undervalued. So crazy. But running backs kind of got to keep their mouths shut. They make sure the running backs stay in their place. But yeah, absolutely, that's a problem, right? And real quick, I saw Jags suspect. They always blowing leads and losing the teams they're supposed to beat. Mark, I wanted to read that because I wanted to say this. Trevor Lawrence has been living off of his freshman year at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering when that equity is going to run out. Because people forget, he did not have the seasons that he was supposed to have after that. His best season of football that I've seen from him, NFL or college, was his freshman year.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. This is one thing that we know about sports media and how they operate, and this is partly why people are getting tired of them, is that
It looks like you lost
They-
another one.
they will die on any hill. They will die on
hill.
any and every hill. So they love them some Trevor Lawrence because they picked him to be great. They picked him to be great early on, and as long as he doesn't go out there and have a 23 interception season, they're not going to move off of that, and they're going to try to find some way to make themselves right. Mm-hmm. And it's this, and we watch it in the reverse, because we watch it in the reverse with Jalen Hurts. They poo-pooed them endlessly, and now when his second season came around and he played as great as he did, they tried to find some way to make themselves right. They was like, well, any quarterback could have did that in that offense.
Yeah.
Well, anybody could have did that with those players. Like, they tried anything they could to make themselves right.
Yeah.
Last year, they put everything on, like when things went bad, they put everything on Jalen Hurts. Now, mind you, Jalen Hurts had his fair share of it because his attitude was awful. His attitude last season was absolutely garbage, and now we're starting to realize why that it had a lot to do with Nick Sirianni and how he was running things, because he was running the offense, he was doing everything, and we saw the results on the field, just like we saw the results on the field the very first season. And so, but people want to discount that and say, well, Jalen Hurts fell apart the second half of the season and forget about the fact that even in the first half of the season, giant games that we won that we should not have won, like the Chiefs in overtime, the Bills in overtime, was strictly on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was out there willing the team to win.
Yeah, he was closer, man.
He was a closer, but they don't talk about that because it doesn't fit the narrative that Jalen Hurts is not the guy.
He's not a first round pick. He's not a first round pick quarterback, Mark.
So, and it's the same thing with Russ. Like they loved Russ, and he wasn't a first round pick guy, but once they championed Russ, they cannot let go of anything about Russ, no matter what comes out about Russ, about how he would, like, no matter how many teammates come out and say Russ was a terrible teammate, Russ was awful, Russ was this, Russ was that. They are kind of very reluctant to let that let that image that they had of Russ go.
Yeah, not giving Marshawn Lynch your phone number is insanity.
Right.
That's insanity, Mark. That's it. Like, I gotta go through a third party, and then he's like, "Did you get a phone call?" Like, what you mean? Did I get a phone call? Block number called me. Blocking your number to call Marshawn Lynch?
It's crazy.
That's insanity, Mark.
Like that's crazy. Yeah. And then, like, all that stuff. And here's the thing, man. I did want to bring this up. I just wanted to bring this up.
John, the last first round pick, top 5 guy that killed it was Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It's not a good question if you talk
about. Oh, no. CJ Stroud as well.
CJ Stroud did phenomenal as well. That's 2 guys right now in the last, 4 seasons? It's not a good question.
Yeah.
Even if you frame it as top 5 pick. So.
Yeah. So Peyton Manning didn't do well when he first started.
He did terrible his first 2 years. You have to go back and watch that. Yeah, my fault. Damn. Yeah. Hey, no worries, man. We forgive you. We forgive you, my boy. yeah.
No, I wanted to bring this up to you specifically, but we are with our boys. We're having this conversation, so I'm going to say it now. Last year, I felt bad for Russ. I felt bad for Russ because of the way Sean Payton was treating him. But
Sean Payton would have to see me in the locker room, Mark.
But here's the thing. I thought about it from now that all the different stuff was coming out, and the more intimate stuff is coming out about how Russ was with teammates even back then in Seattle. I'm like, Sean Payton already knew about this guy. He knew about how he acted. He knew about the stuff about the way that he was. And then he's coming into that building, finding out that this guy has his own fucking office. And he's like, this dude needs to be taken down a peg. I don't like the optics of the way that Sean Payton went about taking him down.
He didn't have to do it publicly, Mark.
Yeah. I don't like the optics of the way he went about taking him down a peg, but I understand where Sean Payton's thinking was. He was like, this dude needs to be taken down a peg, like, because he's not ready. Like,
you're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, you're not that guy, and this has gone on for too long, and it's not going to happen with me.
Yeah. So, and let's be honest. When you think about guys that were that guy, they didn't have those things, Mark.
Right.
They weren't requesting those things because they understood the importance of being with the people. It's already bad enough you're the quarterback. You get paid 50 times more than everybody, right? You get all the praise when you win. You know, you have to deal with the losses too. But let's be honest, man. If you're that great of a quarterback, they don't even blame you for the losses. Like, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, how often do they blame Tom Brady for any losses? They don't blame that man. Like, so yeah, it's I feel you on that. It's like these guys that are those guys, their character is high enough for them to realize, hey, we need these guys and I need them to play for me. Russ apparently did not understand that he needed these guys to play with him and play for him. So
hey man, there's 2 people that I stand on and say they're absolutely awful as teammates, and I don't care who says what from that Steelers building. I don't care. I absolutely do not care. Like, who says, well, Ben was this, that. Ben Roethlisberger has shown time and time again that he's not a leader. He's not a great teammate. He's shown, like, he's just shown it. Like, he has thrown receivers under the bus constantly. Like, he's never taken ownership of any loss or of any mistake. Like, not in real time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, now, because somebody's going to be like, yo, hey, you right about LeBron, but all right.
But I like how you sneak that in there, John.
That's not football, but all right. But yeah, like, because people may bring up his podcast now where he's now trying to show the softer side of Ben or whatever that is that he got going on. But nah, I remember every interview you had. I remember every interview you had after a game. I remember how you acted like when these things happened. Nah. And I remember how people used to say, like how you used to say, that's not on me to tell him that. That's the coach. Like, you know what I mean? You have shirked responsibility of any responsibility of that team, even though you're their starting quarterback. You have shirked any responsibility of the Steelers throughout your entire career. So I do not think highly of Ben Roethlisberger at his time as a Steelers, regardless of what Ryan Clark said.
They did.
Huh?
Oh no, I see John said, yet they killed Cam for that same thing. They did kill Cam.
Yep.
You know, the only difference is, and I'm gonna be very honest with you, if I thought it was a black and white thing, I would say it. Cam in particular got killed because he displayed a lot of arrogance on the field,
right,
off the field. And they were, when you display that level of arrogance, people are waiting, okay? People are waiting for you. Just understand that. So, yeah. And like I said, Ben, boy, let's be honest, man. If Ben didn't get tore down like Cam, but some people were all over his sexual assault situations. So, yeah. Ben was never one of the guys that they thought was. You might not have heard nothing too crazy about him, but nobody said he was a high character guy. You know what I'm saying? so yeah. But no, yeah, like I said, Cam got because after every first down, you got a Superman pose or a flex, or you know what I'm saying? Like they were looking for Cam. Oh no, I'm not. He said the man took a piss in the governor's backyard. Hey, look, deplorable human being, man. Like, to me, Brett Favre and Ben Roethlisberger are the same person. But yeah. Nah, man. What else we got, man? And Rob, you feel bad for Bryce Young? Why?
I meant to ask him that. That's going to be the last. That's going to be the last thing, and we're getting out of here. Why do you feel bad for Bryce Young?
I want to know, man. I want to know. Was he wrong? Was it something that happened to him, Mark? Why do you feel bad for Bryce Young? Yeah, well, and while he's coming up with an answer for that, Mark, I wanted to say this. I've seen a lot of the fantasy football guys liking players on the Panthers or liking Bryce Young to have a nice second year, and I'm like, you know what's funny with the Deontay Johnson stuff, Mark? They were saying, yeah, if you look at the first half of the season and you look at Adam Thielen's numbers, then yeah, Deontay Johnson should be able to. And I'm like, do y'all forget that Bryce Young was hurt? And that Andy Dalton was throwing to Adam Thielen, and that's why Adam Thielen was balling under Andy Dalton. Like, y'all are acting like you didn't know Andy Dalton was throwing Adam Thielen the ball. And then as soon as the second Bryce Young came back, Adam Thielen train was over. The party was over, Mark. It was crazy. Nah, man. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that about Adam Thielen, and they was like, yeah, he had a few games and then he fell off. No, he didn't fall off. The quarterback that was throwing the ball all of a sudden was garbage.
Yeah, quarterback change was everything. When Dalton was back there, that man was giving you 8 catch, 130-yard games. It was crazy. Like, yeah, so, like, here we go. Because he got drafted to a worse team that's not going anywhere for a little while, and he has a bad coaching staff. I mean, I guess, but the way I see it is, show me a flash. Now, you show me flashes, or you show me something, and then I'm like, damn, he's a good quarterback. He's in a bad situation. Then I can feel bad for you. But when you're a below average, at best, quarterback, and you're in a bad situation, I'm not going to feel too bad. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I can tell the difference between a good quarterback in a bad situation, even in a rookie season. I can tell the difference between that and just a quarterback that's maybe average in a bad situation. That's my honest to God truth. So yeah, I don't know about you, Mark. Do you feel that way?
No, yeah.
Yeah, like you show me something. I felt like Taylor Heineke showed me more as a quarterback on a bad team when he was in Washington than Bryce Young showed me last year with the Panthers.
Right.
And that says a lot because Taylor Heineke is not a prospect. So, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, as always,
Looks like you lost another
that's the show. We don't have nothing else for you. We will catch you guys, I guess next Tuesday. Games come up on Thursday. So first games is Thursday, then there's a game on Friday. So we will be quite busy. Busy week, man. I meant to ask you this, Sean. The NFL is talking about next year having games on Labor Day, and I'm like, the NFL just doesn't understand what makes their product great. They are determined to make their product to dilute their product.
I was just gonna say they're diluting it at every corner, at every turn. Let's be honest, the less preseason games, which means players take longer to get going during the season, the less amount of hours that they have to work in the off season, the OTAs, and mini camp, and then now you just keep trying to add more games.
But I'm not
yeah,
but I'm not even looking at it from that standpoint. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of you do these outrageous. When the NFL game is on, it does better than basketball, baseball, hockey. It does better than any sport in America.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. We're going to do a video for our picks, but that's going to come out in the real, not like this. But anyway, that's to answer you, Chris.
Yeah.
But just from a fan standpoint, there's a reason why you're doing all these audience numbers on TV and stuff. And that's because it's one day out of the year. It's one day out of the week. Like, the people, your audience that watches football has families. They have children. They have, their children have friends. The audience that watches your games have responsibilities. And it's easy for them to carve out time to say, I will be here on I can be here and sit here on Sunday and watch all of this game. I can be here on a Monday night. But if you have a game on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, people got things to do. They can't keep carving out time for football. That's the same reason why people I will easily say I'm going to sit here and watch this Jags game because it's only on one day. But let the Jags come on a Wednesday. I got family stuff to do. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this. This ain't an important game to me. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't matter to me at that point. So, it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say, to add to your point, Mark, it's like when the streaming services said, "Check this out, we're gonna release this new show one episode at a time," and it's like, "Nah, man, we here for the binge watch," because the binge watch is way easier for me to do and carve time out for. Your point, Mark, is I could pick a day out of the week to binge an entire series that's 10 episodes versus the alternative of, hey, this show comes out comes out on Mondays, or comes on Mondays. This show comes on Tuesdays. Like, I can watch 3 shows and binge them quicker than I can set a timer or schedule out time for 3 shows that are coming on 3 different days of the week. So it's the same thing. Like, the same way that the consumers didn't like the streaming services releasing TV shows episodically, we don't want the NFL episodically, Mark.
Right.
We don't want it that way. We want, like, the allure of the NFL is Sunday.
Right.
You go to church. You know, if you go to church, if that's your thing, you go to church, you come back, and you sit there for the rest of your Sunday. You already know what you're doing every Sunday.
Yeah. It looks like he froze on my end. So yeah, you pretty much already know what you're going to do every Sunday to finish up what he was saying. All right, he's back.
Yeah, there we go. My bad. I'm gonna wrap it up, but yeah, no. If you get to see everything in one day, it makes it an event. It no longer becomes an event when everything is broken up over a multitude of days.
Right. All right. So hey guys, look, that's the end of the show. Thank you. We appreciate you guys watching as always. And listen, get your bets in for the beginning of the season. Because on Underdog, apparently some of these lines is very, very easy to cover. So go ahead and go over to Underdog. Check out some of the season-long lines. There, you can get your bets in. And remember this, man. One thing about these sports is that it's only entertainment. They are called sports entertainment for a reason, because they will do whatever it takes in the name of entertainment, whatever the almighty dollar dictates. So when you're making your bets, when you're deciding and rooting for a team, remember, just think to yourself, what is the narrative that they want to see the most? And that's the way you go. All right. So with that being said, man, we appreciate you guys. Link, like, subscribe. Another 2-hour episode in the books. Peace.
Peace.